Tonight on 15 News, budget work in North Myrtle Beach. We'll let you know what taxpayers there can expect.
And you'll meet a couple of gypsy artists who pass through the area today. Join us for 15 News. It's next.
15 News, the early edition, with Jan Pate and Al Klensch. Weather with Steve Capps. And sports with Rick Henry.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jan Pate.
And I'm Al Klensch. Our top story comes from the Florence City Council chambers.
Late this afternoon, Council passed on first and second reading an anti-obscenity ordinance. Council chambers were packed, with most of those in attendance being supporters of such an ordinance. The ordinance must receive third reading before it becomes law.
Earlier today, Florence City Council said no to the nearby town of Timmonsville. That town's administrator had sent a letter to the city of Florence asking that the city release its water rights to the US 76 I-95 interchange area. Florence businessmen F.H. Murray and Herbert Anderson want to build a large motel in that area, and they say Timmonsville can provide the needed water and sewer lines quicker and cheaper than Florence. But Mayor Pierce's response for council was emphatic.
And we will not relinquish it. Once again, let me state to you that we have a $70 million investment.
Timmonsville Councilman Tyrone Howard says his town needs to run those lines for its future growth. Howard pointed out that his small town west of Florence has hardly changed in 50 years. And the Florence businessmen involved in the matter say council is being short-sighted.
Greenville native Vinton Lyde became South Carolina's U.S. Attorney today.
In North Myrtle Beach, Al Irvin, 15 News.
Two former Horry County police officers have been sentenced to 4 years in prison for their guilty pleas to drug charges. J. Dale Causey and Vernon Jordan, both 34 and from Conway, were sentenced for their pleas to charges of conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute marijuana. Two other former Horry County police officers pleaded guilty last week to drug charges. They've yet to be sentenced.
Florence County has a workforce of more than 300 full-time employees.
In Florence, Clay Williams, 15 News.
Holton and Company were airborne once again.
Gary Weiss is here to check the weather on this Monday evening as Steve Capps takes a long weekend, and he picked a great one to do it. Did you hear his rating the other night? I think
what did he say? I hope he said good, because it was.
He was at 9.9, and I don't think Steve goes any higher than that, and I think it was right up there.
Well, he needs a rest after that hurricane week.
That's right.
Last weekend was just terrific. Hopefully it will continue. Right now outside we have 84 degrees now.
20,000.
I seem to be out of chips. I'll bet you my new Chrysler Fifth Avenue.
Fifth Avenue, huh?
Yes, it has big car room and ride. 49 luxury features as standard equipment, and Chrysler's 550 protection plan.
Full house.
4 kings.
HRS does it.
We are happy to make Ann Poston part of our newscast this evening.
The good news just keeps coming about Florence's heart transplant patient. She's still in Baltimore, but was released from the hospital this past weekend. And Ann is joining us now by phone. Ann, it is
so good to hear from you again. We've followed your recovery. It seems to be going great. I understand that your discharge was somewhat of a surprise. Can you explain that?
Yes, Jan, it was a surprise. They should run into any complications or anything, then, you know, I would be readmitted and my medication would be worked on at that time.
And it's Al this time.
Hey, Al.
How about the people that you're hearing from? A lot of the folks here in Florence sending information to you? Are you keeping up with what's going on here in town?
I haven't been able to keep up with a whole lot as far as the newspapers. I'm pushing around knowing that people are back there thinking about you and loving you, and I feel the same about everybody back there. I just can't wait to get home.
Well, we're sure we're going to see you real soon, and we certainly thank you for taking time to talk to us tonight.
Oh, thank you so much for calling me.
Thank you, and continued good wishes.
Thank you. And I'll
Okay,
be talking
Ann.
with you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
okay, and now it's time to check sports. Rick has joined us.
And there's a certain strike deadline that comes up tomorrow, and I'm sure you want to bring us up to date on that.
Well, I hope you weren't planning to watch any Major League Baseball.
I don't want to hear this.
This could be the last night of Major League Baseball for quite some time, just hours before a deadline that could result in a second mid-season baseball strike in the past 4 years.
2 former Horry County police officers have been sentenced to 4 years in prison for their guilty pleas to drug charges. Vernon Jordan and J. Dale Causey are both 34 and from Conway. Last week, 2 other former Horry County police officers pleaded guilty to drug charges. They've yet to be sentenced.
A big spy trial is going on in Norfolk, Virginia. Arthur Walker is accused of helping his brother, who's accused of giving Navy secrets to the Soviets. And an assistant U.S. attorney says Walker admitted that he gave his brother that help. It'll be up to a federal judge to decide the case. Walker asked for a non-jury trial, and the judge said okay today. The man accused of what is being called the biggest financial scam in Hawaii's history went on trial today in Honolulu. If found guilty, Ronald Rewald could face 500 years in jail. He's charged with 100 incidents of fraud, tax evasion, and perjury. According to federal prosecutors, Rewald's investment firm took in $22 million over 5 years. Most of that money, the prosecution says, was spent by Rewald on homes, cars, ranches, and the lifestyle of a millionaire, and almost nothing was spent on investments. Some 400 investors lost their savings. Rewald's defense? That his firm was actually a CIA cover directed from Washington. He says he traveled worldwide collecting intelligence and carrying out secret missions. The CIA flatly denies Rewald's allegations.
Investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board today